Hello students, welcome back to Neeta's Business Studies class. In our previous class, we studied about the limitations of planning. Now, in this class, we are going to study about the planning process or the steps involved in planning function. We shall do this one by one. The steps followed in planning process, they are as follows. The first one is setting of objectives. The second one is developing premises. The third one is identifying alternative courses of action. The fourth one is evaluating alternative courses. The fifth one is selecting an alternative. The sixth one is implementing the plan. And the seventh one is follow-up action. So these are the 7 steps involved in planning process, and accordingly we have to go one by one. So first and foremost, setting of objective is the first plan. Setting of objective, as all of you know, it is to set the target or the goal, the ultimate organizational objective to be set. That is the first and very important step in planning process. So the first and foremost step in planning process is setting objectives. Objectives should be set for both long term as well as short term. It should be very specific and verifiable. It should mention what are the objectives. It should name and mention the objectives and goal and target. That is why it's told it should be specific and verifiable. Verifiable means it should be measurable. It should be very clear and easy to achieve. Yes, things should be very clear. The objective set should be clear and it should be achievable by the organization. It should give directions to all the departments. It should tell all the departments, all the units, all the individuals, all the group of people in which direction to go in order to achieve the objective. It should also clearly state the expected results. Yes, the consequences of achieving the objectives should also be very clear. Only when objectives are clear, the organization can remain successful. So this is the first and very important first and foremost step in planning process, setting of goal or target or standard or objective. The next step is developing premises. Premises means assumptions. The future assumptions and forecast is what is called as premises. So we have to take into consideration all the assumptions, imagine the future, foresee the future, and then plan accordingly. So planning premises are the assumptions about the future environmental conditions of the organization. So environmental conditions can be internal or it can be external, that we have already studied in our business environment chapter. These are the assumed conditions in which plan is to be executed, and the premises or assumptions must be the same for all. So assumptions are the base material upon which plans are to be drawn. They are in the form of forecast, existing plans, or any past information about the policies. So planning premises are the assumptions, are the future forecast that is considered as base in order to draw a plan or in order to plan something ahead. It is through assumptions, through expectations, through imagination. So this is a base and foundation, and the base or foundation is in the form of forecast or the existing plan or the past information about the policies. Based on all these aspects, management can develop premises, that is assume certain things, and these assumptions should be the same in all the department and to all the individuals. Next one is identifying the alternative courses of action. Identifying means it is for searching or hunting for different options, different plans, different courses of action. So this is what is the next step in planning process. It is related to searching different alternative courses of action. An innovative course of action can be adopted by involving more people and by sharing their views and ideas. In order to find out the most promising alternative, more options should be generated and decisions to be taken only after thorough discussion. So we as management members in every business organization, they have to search for different options. That is what is called as different alternative courses of action. Unless you have different options, how can you select the best? So different options and different alternative courses of action should be at the disposal of the organization. The organization have to search for it, and if at all there is new option, then more people and more resources should be adapted, should be involved, and they have to take all the views and opinions and ideas and suggestions of all the people in order to select the most feasible and promising alternative. So more options should be there in order to select the best. So through thorough discussion and through by taking all the opinions, all the ideas and views of many people, one can come to one conclusion. The next one is evaluating the alternative courses. Evaluating means measuring, analyzing, studying the negative as well as positive aspects of every alternative course. Unless we study the negative, unless we measure the positive aspects of any course of action, we will not come to know what is the actual feasibility or which is the best alternative course of action for our company. So each course of action is to be evaluated by considering both positive and negative aspects of each, such as investment and risk factor, availability of resources, expected payback period, objectives of the organization, etc. So all these factors should be taken into consideration while we are analyzing each and every course of action, or in common words, different options available at the company's disposal. So alternatives are evaluated in the light of their feasibility and consequences. So they have to be measured, they have to be studied, they have to be analyzed and check the feasibility, whether it is really suiting and whether it is really working out and what will be the consequence of it in future. All these should be analyzed and studied. Our next step in planning process is selecting an alternative. So after studying and after analyzing and knowing the positive and negative aspects of each and every alternative course of action, now it is a time to select the best alternative course of action. So after evaluating different alternatives, the best plan has to be adopted and implemented. The ideal plan should be most feasible, profitable, and with least negative consequences. So the best plan should always be very feasible, profitable, and with the least negative consequences. So sometimes combination of plans may be selected instead of one best plan. So when management is selecting an alternative or an option or a plan, it can be more than one plan. When plan 1 or plan A fails, management can adopt plan B. So multiple plans can also be selected instead of just one single best plan. Our next step in planning process is implementing the plan, wherein after selecting the plan, now it's time to implement it and to put all the plans into action, actually into work. This step is concerned with putting the plans into action. Managers should assign tasks and responsibilities and ensure timely supply of needed resources, communicate and explain plans to the responsible people. So this is a time where work starts, action starts. So actual plan is implemented in the organization which we have selected, which is more suitable, which will work out, which will have more of positive consequences. Such plan is implemented, and this is what is called as putting the plans into action. The next and last step in planning process is a follow-up action. So just implementing the plan after all the process is done, and then relaxing will not work. So, follow up action is to check and monitor whether all the plans are working accordingly or not. So, this is what is called as follow up action. So, this is to check whether plans are being implemented and ensure that everything is going according to the plans. Monitoring the plans is very important in order to achieve the organizational objectives. Yes, this is what we have to do. After implementing a plan, we have to check and monitor and see and watch whether the plans are working out accordingly or not. And if at all it's not working out, we have to revise the plan. So this is all for today's class, dear students. I hope you have understood the process of planning and the steps involved in planning process. Thank you.